Arizona. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2245, Carrying Their Light. This is episode 2 from, I'm trying to remember what this week's one's called, hang on. Love That Remains, volume 22, Love That Remains. This is episode 2, Carrying Their Light. This week we're looking at about remembering those who we have loved and lost, including puppies, human, animal. If they had meaning if they had an impact on your life, we're looking at how to remember the ways that we can carry their memories forward and everything else. So that's what we're doing this week. And tonight we're talking about carrying their light. When someone we love leaves this world, it can feel like a light has gone out. Yep, it does. Yet often their light continues in the way, Yet often their light continues in the way we remember them, in the stories we tell, and in the small ways they shaped our lives. Carrying their light is not about replacing the loss, but about weaving their presence into how we live now. It teaches us that love and memory are deeply intertwined. The way we carry someone's light often shapes our daily lives. Carrying their light can mean embodying values, traditions, or qualities they held dear. Sharing stories and memories keeps their presence active in families and communities. Carrying their light is both a personal and collective act. Each person does it in their own way, yet together we keep their legacy alive. And just keep thinking about when you've lost someone or a beloved pet. Sorry, I thought I was going to get through this one without the emotions. Tomorrow's going to be worse. Tomorrow is the 8th anniversary of Brad's passing. And so we okay. So when a loved one passes, there is a hole that is left in our hearts. They are still there. Their presence is still very much there. And they are, and whether you can feel it or not, just know that they are there, that they are present. There are times that Brad will come and visit me in different ways, and I know it's him. His favorite bird was a hummingbird. So whenever Zeffie and I used to go for walks in the park and the hummingbirds would come, they would literally hover about 6 feet above Brad, not even 6 feet, because they'd be eye level with me, and I'm only 5'4". So they would hover above Zeffie. Zeffie would stand there and look back at me, and this bird and this hummingbird would be hovering above, looking at me as well. And I'd look down at Zeffie, and Zeffie would be watching me, and the hummingbird would be eye level with me. And whenever I saw a hummingbird, I would say, "Good morning, Brad," or "Good morning, Sweet Pea." That's what I used to call him. And although it got very confusing when when people that we used to meet when we were walking in the park got a new dog and called it Sweet Pea. I thought that was really sweet. But this bird and there was one time that I was standing there just talking to it, and Zeffie was not pulling on the leash. She was just standing there watching me, and I don't know if she could see the hummingbird or not, but she would just stand there and just watch me, and I was just talking to this hummingbird. And at one point it turned itself to the sun, and it caught this beautiful red glittery heart on its chest. It was a gray colored hummingbird, which I thought they were brightly colored anyway, but it turned into the sunlight, and all of a sudden their gray chest had this beautiful red glittery looking heart on it. And it was just so beautiful, and I was just mesmerized. And then it flew off and flew away. And then the next day, we're out walking again, and we went walking every day. And the next day when we were out walking, this hummingbird comes instead, and it looked very similar to the one that was there the day before. And so I said to her, "Are you the same hummingbird that came and visited us yesterday?" And with that, it turned itself into the sun, and there was that red glittery heart on its chest. And I told it how glad I was to see that it was back again, and just talked to Brad about how much I missed him and what was happening and everything else. And again, Zeffie just stood there quietly looking up, watching me while I was talking to this hummingbird that was eye level with me. It was just a very, very surreal moments like that happened. I've had him come to me in dreams. I've had him kiss me in a dream and wake up and I could still feel his lips on my lips. I've had that happen. Gus appeared in a dream as well. And I remember burying my face in his fur. And when I woke up, I could still feel his fur on my face. It's, if you are open, they will appear. They are in your lives. They are with you all the time, whether or not you can feel them or see them or you understand the signs that come, they are there. And I just absolutely love it when they come around, and it could be in a song that triggers something. It could be a smell, like a favorite cologne. And, oh yeah, I've got to sort that basket out. That basket's coming with me. Sorry. So what happens when we notice their influence in everyday actions? The recipes we cook, the advice we recall, the songs that make us smile. It could be the smell it could be a smell that was familiar to that person. There's times that Brad had this way of he made an egg sandwich. It was just really, really basic, but it tasted really good. And he would lightly toast the bread, and he would smear mayonnaise on both pieces of bread, slightly toasted bread. And then he would put some lettuce on one side, and he would put scrambled eggs on the other side and squish it together. And that was his egg sandwich. And he made it for me one time. It actually tasted really good. And there's been a number of times when I've been in the kitchen. Oh, what do I have to? Oh, I'm going to make some eggs. Yeah, I'm going to put them on toast. Yeah, I'm going to put them on toast. And I will, in the air fryer, I put them in. I cook my toast in the air fryer. I tell you, it comes out so crisp and crunchy, and that's how I like my toast. Not burnt, but super crunchy. And so there are times when I would just toast one side of it, and that's the lightly toasted side, lightly toasted bread. And I'll look and go, I'm going to take it out halfway through. And so I'll put it on for the halftime, for the 3 minutes, which is halftime, and take it out. And the next thing I know, I'm slapping mayonnaise on the inside of the bread. The eggs are cooking. I'll get out, and I don't have lettuce in the house. I have, what's it called? Power greens. I think it's a power green mix, or super green mix, or something like that. It's called. It's got spinach and chard and kale. I think those are the three that it's got in there. And I will put handfuls of that in my smoothies. And I'll put that on one side and put the eggs on the other and slap them together. And it still it doesn't taste as good as Brad's one, but it still tastes good. And I'll find myself making that. Just no random thought, just as I'm sort of cooking stuff, it figures it. And I've got a hankering for that, and I don't have any greens. Dang, made myself hungry for that. I'm going to have to go out and get some greens. The grief softens as the light shifts from absence to guidance. They are there guiding us. We may not know it, we may not feel it, we may not see it. Some people are very perceptive to that, and they will see it and see the signs that they're of the path the light of the path they're supposed to follow. Others will struggle along, but will suddenly find themselves wondering how they got there. You were guided. Your subconscious picked it up, and you were guided. You can sense a connection of belonging grows stronger when we share their stories with others. This is how you keep the memory alive. This is how you keep the love going, is sharing the stories. Their light becomes part of our own, influencing the way we treat others and the way we move through life. How we carry forward we intentionally create rituals or practices that honor their memory, lighting a candle, celebrating anniversaries. I do it through movies. I will do it through movies. I still don't get, Brad was a huge football fan. He loved watching American football. I could not see the sense of watching a game. And he actually recorded one time. He recorded one. So he only watched the plays. He didn't watch all the bits that go on in between and the mucking around that they do. Because there's times I go to him and we're getting ready to go out. And I go, well, how long's this game got left? And he goes, 5 minutes. I said, so we're not going to be leaving for at least 30. And he goes, yeah, that's about right. Takes 5 minutes to play. Takes 30 minutes to play. 5 minutes a game. 30 minutes for 5 minutes. I come from where we play rugby and rugby league. They're fast. They're like, keep going. There's no dilly-dallying around and switching teams over, bringing on a specials team or the offense or the defense. And yeah, I did learn some terms. I learned to be an NFL and a college football widow. Yes. But I've only watched 2 football games since he passed. One happened to be on at my son's place when I was visiting him. And the other one was the Super Bowl after Brad passed. To honor him, I sat and watched it. I don't even know what teams were playing. All I just wanted to see a good game. I sat there and read most of the time and just watched the plays. When you record and you fast forward through to the plays, it's like 40 minutes, if that, maybe 30 of actual playing time. It doesn't matter what the clock says. There's actually about 30, maybe 40 minutes of actual playing in the game. So, and we're talking from when they form up and the ball snaps to when they call the play, call the play dead or something, and they have to reform again. Adding all of those up, it comes to about 30 to 40 minutes, and it takes 3 hours. Give me rugby any day. Not knocking the sports. I know there are a lot of people into the sports, and I totally respect that. There are people who watch sports that I will never watch, and there are people who won't watch sports that I watch. I love watching gymnastics. I love watching cricket. I love watching rugby. When I get down to New Zealand, I'm looking forward to watching rugby and cricket again, especially cricket. I have missed watching cricket so much. I don't even know who any of the players are on the New Zealand Black Caps anymore. So I think I'm going to have a call with my cousin and find out all the ins and outs of the New Zealand cricket team. But I get to watch all the sports that they don't broadcast here in the States. So I'm looking forward to that. Even netball, that's gotten the little bits I've seen, that's gotten quite vicious and play. But I'm going to watch that too. Anyway, so when it's talking about honoring them, practices honoring them, I watch movies in honor of Brad. Like, he was a big fan of The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, the Star Wars movies, even Star Trek movies. I'd forgotten that Star Trek movie. We could put some Star Trek on. And his anniversary is tomorrow. I'm not going to get to watch a lot of movies over the next few weeks because I'm busy getting packed and everything else and getting down to New Zealand. But I am going to try and watch a movie a night because I have worked my schedule that I will put my timer on and go for like 30 minutes. I do 30-minute blocks. If I do any longer than and if the timer goes off and I turn it off and I keep going, that's okay. But there's times that I get to the end of that 30 minutes, I'm so like, I need sustenance. I either need to eat dinner or lunch, depending on what time of the day it is, and I definitely need water. But I do have my water with me the whole time. But usually, if the day of the anniversary of his passing falls on a weekend, you will find me in my home on the couch watching a trilogy from movie 1 to movie 3. It may take me 12 to 13 hours to watch because if you're watching the extended director's cuts, they're a little longer than the regular ones. And they got quite a few extra minutes in them than the regular one that you saw in the movie in the theater. And they're actually quite good. And if I watch the regular one, I'm like, hang on, they missed a scene. What happened? And then I have to remember, oh, yeah, that's on the director's cut. So, yeah, I will watch those. But, of course, I have my breaks built in as well. And then I have, we used to, do, a charcuterie board when we went to watch, when we had our house back in Virginia, we had a movie theater downstairs. And we would make up a charcuterie board. We would have and the movie theater was off our rec room, and there was a wet bar in our recreation room, and we had the refrigerator was full of there was sodas in there was canned fruit juice in there was all the non-alcoholic canned stuff that was in there because Brad and I never drink. Brad might have a glass of whiskey once a year, maybe twice. That was basically his thing done. And so we would have canned drinks in there, or the cardboard juices, and would have water down there as well, and some extra charcuterie board stuff. And we had a little coffee table in our movie room. We had a 3-seater couch. We had a little coffee table in our movie room, and we would put the charcuterie board on there, and that was basically our snacks for the day. And Gus would just sit there at the other side and just look at it. And we're like, no, this is ours. But we would have, he loved baby carrots. He thought they were the best treat ever. That and tissues. Used were better ones. We actually got him broken of that habit, which I was thankful for. But he loved the baby carrots. And so he had his little area that he could lay and watch the movies. He could wander in and out of the room if he wanted to. And so he would get baby carrots every now and again. So he was happy. And he would just lay there on the floor and sleep and would watch our movies. So my movie day is making a charcuterie board of snacks and stuff and having that nearby I don't have a coffee table. Having it nearby, and Zeffie would kind of like sniff at it, and there was some cold meats on there, and she'd sort of like be, ooh, and I'd go, no. And she would back away, and she wouldn't go after it. And I had her little treats, had a little dish with her little treats in that she got every now and again. So every time I ate something, she got a treat. She liked that idea. But yeah, so I'd either watch Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, the first 3 original Star Wars movies that came out in the 70s. Was it 77? I think the third one came out now. They now are known as episodes 4, 5, and 6. Or I would watch the first 3 episodes, 1, 2, and 3. So I would watch one of those 4 trilogies, and now I just suddenly remembered that he liked Star Trek as well. And we have we have all the Star Trek movies. We've got the ones done by the original cast. We've got the ones done with the Next Generation with Captain Picard. And then we have the ones that was like the remake that had Chris Pine playing Captain Kirk. Was it Chris Pine? Yeah, playing Captain Kirk. I will tell you this. The first time I saw, what was it called? The new Star Trek movie where Chris Pine played James T. Kirk for the first time, I was like, they could not have gotten a better actor to play a young William Shatner. He was awesome. He was awesome. And now I'm wondering if I've got the right person. Those piercing blue eyes. Was it Chris Pine? Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Chris Pine. Yeah, Chris Pine. I had a sudden feeling that might have been Chris Pratt. So I just had to quickly go look at the picture. But yeah, love those movies. So that's my tradition. And then I know Wedding Anniversary, I watch Legally Blonde because that was Brad's favorite chick flick. And I don't know how many times we had watched it when he suddenly realized, when I'm sitting there reading, and he suddenly goes, that's where we got married. And the place they do the breakup scene towards the beginning of the movie is done in the Il Cielo restaurant in Beverly Hills. And the table that they're sitting at is the spot that we stood and got married on back in 1998. So, yeah. So every wedding anniversary, I watch that movie just to see that scene. And it's right at the beginning of it, but it's a good movie, so we watch it anyway. What other ones do I watch on our wedding anniversary, on our anniversaries and stuff? I think that's basically it. Well, I'm going to fit Star Trek in there somehow. So on his birthday, his the date of his death, our wedding anniversary, and even our engagement date, I find some way to honor his memory by watching movies that I know that he liked. And that's my way of doing it, because I like watching movies, and he was a good movie watching partner. He even put up with James Bond for me, especially in November when we did the James Bond fest. He was just sort of like, oh, it's only for a month, we can handle it. But I allowed him to watch other movies. But he always liked when I declared we were going to have a chick flick day. He loved chick flick days because he knew the first 90 minutes of chick flick was going to be a true chick flick. The rest were going to be action movies all day. So he was very happy to have chick flick because he only had to occupy himself for 90 minutes, and then he could sit and watch the action movies with me. That was what I called a chick flick day. I haven't done one of those for a while. I need to do one of those. Let's see. We also carry forward living when we live in ways that reflect their kindness, human resilience, or generosity. When we speak their names and share their stories often so their light doesn't fade. And remember that carrying their light is not about holding on to grief, but choosing to keep love alive in every day. And then I've got your reflection questions for you. Number 1, what is one way your loved one light still shows up in your daily life? Number 2, how do you share their stories or memories with others? Number 3, which qualities of theirs would you like to carry forward in your own life? And number 4, what new tradition or practice could you create in honor of their memory? Oh, and I forgot the legacy. Thing about, I just need to. And in legacy, every time we carry someone's light, we extend their legacy beyond their own lifetime. Their influence becomes part of a family culture, shaping future generations who may never have met them. And I will tell you this, there are times when I'm with my older grandsons, and they will ask me questions about Papa, although they call him Granddad now. Brad actually wanted to be called Pops. This was so funny. He actually wanted to be called Pops. And so when Darmic was learning to talk, Brad would sit there and they would sit there with Darmic would sit on Grandpa's knee. He was actually sitting on the recliner, so he had the footstool up. So Darmic would sit between Brad's legs, and they would just sit there and have this conversation. Baby gibberish to human talk. I don't know what they were talking about, but they were having a great conversation. And when Darmic was starting to learn to talk, Brad kept pointing to himself and going, Pops, Pops. And Darmic would go, Papa, Papa. So Darmic is the one that christened him Papa, but now he calls him Granddad. Oh, yeah. In carrying their light, we become storytellers and keeper of their memories. Legacy is not only about what they left behind, but also about what we continue to live out on their behalf. And in closing, carrying their light reminds us that love never truly leaves. It transforms, guides, and illuminates our own paths forward. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. And we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. He konera.